I'm Nathan Garcia, and I hate people on bicycles.
Welcome to Grumble Goat. My name is Matt Labodka, and this is a show about all the small things that drive me insane. Let's grumble.
You know, a bicycle was okay when you were a little kid and you had your training wheels on and you couldn't leave the driveway. You know why? Because you weren't annoying. And it doesn't matter where you are on a bicycle. You're either going too fast or you're going too slow. But more often than not, the main thing is this. You're in the way and we're in cars. So, you know what? Pull over and let us pass. You think of that annoying couple riding in tandem on their bikes, gazing at the trees and looking at the birds, and now we have traffic because you're taking your time. What's worse than that is the aggravating family who is just riding four abreast and not letting us pass. That is just unacceptable and annoying. Now, let's not forget you solo riders, you bike messengers, or you people in the bike lanes in the big cities. I've had it with you too. You know who's got better etiquette than people on bicycles? Biker gangs. Would you ever see a biker gang taking up that much traffic, riding that slowly, being that annoying? They might be scary. They might make us fearful of them, but you know what? They're not in the way. I have a better idea. The only bike you should be on after you're in 5th grade should be a stationary model in a gym somewhere. Put on your spandex, tune on CNBC or the Bloomberg broadcast, and listen to your iPad, and you're not in the way. Unless you're throwing a newspaper on my lawn and hitting my door with military precision, we really don't want to see you with your bike and your little basket. The last time I saw a bicycle and I was happy, it was when the lady turned into a witch because Toto jumped out of the back basket and ran home to Dorothy. So knock it off. So here's an idea. Put the baseball cards back in your spokes and stay in your grandmother's driveway. The rest of us have to get to work. Yeesh. I'm Nathan Garcia, and I hate people on bicycles, and that's the grumble. So, forget it.
Grumble, 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 grumble.
What?
Grumble, 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 grumble. What's got your goat?
For the latter half of the show, we'll bring in my better half, Veronique, for an unpretentious look and a segment we call
What's got your goat?
Welcome back to Grumble Goat on the Road.
We are
Coming at you from South Jersey.
We are on the road.
On the road.
Grumble Goat on the road. And today, we have a special guest also from South Jersey, represent Nathan Garcia. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and welcome to our little slice of paradise down here in South Jersey.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're, of course, talking about the Grumble Goat studio on the road.
Absolutely.
The,
Welcome,
screened-in
Grumble
porch.
Goat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you actually, you're comfortable normally in front of a microphone.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I am not as comfortable as I am right now. This is actually pretty cool. But yes, I am normally on Sundays and Mondays right now. I am on 98.7 The Coast, WCZT, and I broadcast from the Boardwalk Studio on Maury's Adventure Pier on the Boardwalk in Wildwood. Today's hits and yesterday's favorites.
Yeah, I love it.
And you're from this area.
I grew up in this area. I was born in New York and lived most of my life in New York City, but I spent my formative years down here, so I consider myself a product of the Cape, from
Absolutely.
Cape May and Wildwood. And I think you can empathize with that. certainly.
Yeah, absolutely. I was born in D.C., grew up in Maryland, but in 7th grade, we moved to southern New Jersey. And my mom's side of the family is from down here, so I would always come here for the summers. But then we moved down here, and I went to Wildwood Catholic.
Yes, as did I.
Yeah.
And I was just maybe a year or two ahead of you,
That's
wasn't I?
right. Yes, only a year or two.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What
Yes,
are the odds?
and we graduated last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went back to high school during the pandemic.
Yeah, well, they still had 45 records, and CDs were a new thing when I went to high school. And
Now, not only did you go to high school together, you guys are doing a play together.
we did. Well, this is our second play together, as a matter of fact. We are at Eastland Theater.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're doing a play, Who Am I This Time? And
Who Am I
it's
This
Who Am I This
Time?
Time?
And other conundrums
and
of
other
love.
conundrums. Let's not forget those.
And
But
we just had a really special performance
it was
on
just-
Wednesday
yeah,
night.
It was really special. It was just great.
It was sold out, number one, which was incredible.
Yeah.
And Aaron Posner came to see the
Yes,
show.
the
Aaron
author.
Posa, the author of the
Author
show.
of the show came
Yeah.
to us, and he was just cool isn't even the right word to find. I really can't find a word to
he
describe
was
him,
so
how
cool.
awesome he was. And it was just great.
Yeah, he was so calm.
Yeah.
And, very personable, very knowledgeable.
You know who wasn't calm? The
Us?
cast.
Yes,
who
we were-
swarmed him with our scripts.
I was pretty nervous. That was a big deal for me.
We were
All
really
of us wanted
excited.
an autograph. Well, Veronique started it.
I did.
Yeah.
I did
well,
start
and then
it.
when she started that, I dashed back stage to get my copy because I'm like, wait a minute, hold it now.
I just thought that was so cool.
And
so cool.
Folks, props to us because he loved it.
Really?
did.
Yeah,
He liked
loved
the
the
show.
She seemed very moved.
Yeah, Aaron Posner, he got to see the show because they had planned a trip to Cape May.
Yeah.
Because it's
Wow.
a little slice of paradise.
Little slice of paradise down here.
It was so serendipitous.
very much.
And from his perspective, what an amazing vacation.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Cape May. Amazing. They're doing your play.
Right.
Yeah, and it's by a beach, and the weather's great.
The weather's great, except for the ominous thunder
Yeah,
that was
that's right, that's right, except
crashing
for the-
overhead during
But
Act 2.
by the time we left the show, the clouds had parted. And
I tell you, I got some punctuation to my lines that night. I was
Yeah.
like, my compass got broke. Boom.
Right. Speaking of being in paradise, how do you all like to get around?
Well, I like to get around like most people here in Cape May County, and that's in a nice air-conditioned automobile with the windows closed and with minor distractions. But that's not always the case now, is it?
I got my motorcycle right out here.
Okay, well,
That's how I've been getting around.
No, okay, well, I understand it. And you know what you need? You need a license to operate a motorcycle. It's still a motor vehicle.
Absolutely.
All right.
And
Oh,
you-
this is
and
the
you have
cop
to-
in you coming out, huh?
Well, retired. I mean,
Yeah, you got your M class.
well, you know what? The point being is just that, you have to obey, let's say with a boom in my voice, the rules of the road, the rules of traffic rules.
The traffic laws.
And they're called rules. They're not hints or suggestions or.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not?
No, they're not. No.
Oh, I thought we could just kind of walk wherever we wanted
Well,
and
people
ride
do,
wherever
and I
we
understand
want.
that sometimes, it says don't walk. Well, come on. I mean, let's just be honest. But the real culprits,
Yeah.
I think, are just people on bicycles.
People on bikes. Oh, not motorcycles.
No, we'll get to that in a moment. I think.
He planned a lecture.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just that no matter where you live, people on bicycles can be such an annoyance and they can be so inconsiderate.
No, wait, hang on.
Well,
you
I
come
feel
onto
like-
my podcast and start talking about bicyclists?
You know what? I drove in a car to your podcast. I didn't impede the flow of traffic because I was meandering about looking at the trees and
Staring off at the birds.
unleashing my inner Julie
Yeah,
Andrews.
I'll give you
and-
this. The bicyclists here in Cape May, it's an island community. And
Yes.
a lot of these people are tourists, and they're also not normal bicyclists.
No.
They rented a bicycle for the first time in their lives.
and they're not wearing any helmets.
They're not wearing any helmets. But listen, I lived in New York City for most of my life, and even bicycle riders there can be, well, if they're not dangerous.
Well, I'm a New York City bicyclist.
Well, I was a New York City driver. And also, I mean,
That's not an elite class.
it was because
New York
I used
City drivers are the craziest maniacs in the world.
We used to be an elite class because we at least had 2 lanes of traffic. Now we're down to 1 on 42nd and Broadway, just so someone on a Schwinn can, get
Save the
past.
planet by reducing one car at a time?
Well, you could save the planet and move to Sussex County, New Jersey, ride a bike there. But just the etiquette of being on a bike. I
The
mean,
etiquette of being on a bike. I
Yes.
think they have rules of the road,
they're
right?
supposed to follow the rules of traffic. You're in
Yes.
traffic, you follow the rules of traffic.
Right. And you're not supposed to be on the sidewalk.
That's what we learned by Sister Mary Diesel when we went to Wildwood Catholic and Driver's Ed.
okay.
Yes.
I just had the gym coach, but
You know what's wild? Pedestrians hate cars.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
cars hate pedestrians.
Yeah.
But everybody hates bicyclists.
Well, I mean, I don't know how many times I've driven into Cape May or into Wildwood, and it's 4 abreast on their Huffies.
right.
Yeah.
With just, what's that philosophical term? Solipsism, where they're just in their own little self-contained world.
No, they are. They're in a little bubble
It's
riding
just
their
like,
bicycles.
Okay. And then if you beep, they're like, oh, you must be in a hurry. I've heard of that when I wasn't on vacation, and it's just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I understand when the horse and carriage is blocking the way. And
Okay.
I'm going to have to wait because
You got to go around.
it's not midnight yet, so that carriage isn't going to turn back into a pumpkin. But you're behind it, and it's a horse.
Right.
It's not the Wells Fargo
Yeah.
wagon. But I get that.
Yeah.
Well, now hold on, hang on. I don't understand this soft spot for the horses here because the bicycles are at least a mode of transportation. It's taking somebody to another spot. The horses just go in a circle and let you off in the same exact spot you got on at.
Okay, and you would be exactly right. But you had endearing shows like Mr. Ed, Hi-O Silver.
I know. I love horses.
I love horses. Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
when you were in 8th grade,
Well, that's the thing. My dad took me into a church when I was really little, and he's like, okay, we're going to pray. And I was like, okay. I didn't know what praying was. No one explained it to me. So I spent the entire 10 minutes praying I was a horse. I was like, I wish I was a horse. I wish I was a horse.
You were a horse?
Yeah. And then my dad was like, all right, Quinn, what did you pray about? And I prayed for grandma. And then I was like, I immediately couldn't tell my dad that I wished to be a horse. I was like, oh my gosh, I misunderstood the assignment. Whoops.
Well, if you got mad, you were going to say, "Get off your high bicycle," right? I mean, come on. Let's
Okay.
Wait, so in your prayer, what was your vision of your horse life?
Oh, well, I always wanted a Tennessee Walker because I got a book.
Wow.
Yeah, they're huge animals, but the power, like horsepower, right? Like in cars, it's
bike power.
not bike power.
Yeah, but cars have horsepower, but they have 100 horsepower. A horse has 1 horsepower.
You don't
That
think they're all just going, well, what about those herds of horses?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of
across-
horsepower.
Yeah.
How many
fields.
great 19th century painters wanted to paint 10 speeds on a landscape?
Oh my
you
god!
know?
Well, the big wheel bicycle, the big front wheel. A lot of people painted those.
A
Yeah,
lot of
but
people painted those,
stationary.
Now down here, yes, bicyclists do go slow, but they're on vacation. This is the island
Yeah,
life.
but
for them.
that's the thing
I'm
that
on
I don't.
vacation too.
Yeah, but the bicyclists down here, you're not wearing a helmet, okay? And if you're not wearing a helmet, you just have a death wish if you don't have a helmet on.
At my age, wearing a helmet, riding a bike is relatively new. Back in the 70s, if you wore a bike helmet,
What was it? Because I remember that as a kid, that you'd get made fun of if you had a helmet on while you were on a
it was
bike.
because you're supposed to be kind of reckless at that time, and this is back when people rode in the back of pickups.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And you were in the backseat of the car without a seatbelt.
Right,
and
yeah,
you were in the
that-
back
that-
of the
I
station
remember there was a
wagon.
time when wearing your seatbelt was also made fun. You were cool if you didn't. Oh, I don't wear my seatbelt. It was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I wear seatbelts, believe me.
Oh, yeah.
Being
seatbelts are
flippant with
important.
mortality is cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, now I get into a vehicle and I immediately put my seatbelt on.
Oh, I do. Absolutely.
I wear the bicycle helmet
No, you don't.
when I drive the car around. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just around the block, by the
Yeah.
way.
When was the first time that you learned how to ride a bike?
I grew up in New York City till I was 10.
What?
And I didn't learn how to ride a bike until I moved down here.
Okay.
And it was wonderful. I mean, it
Okay.
gave me all this freedom of movement.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm just the coolest now.
Yeah.
I'm got a bike. Star Wars is going to come out for the first time in about 2 months.
Oh my
so,
gosh.
That's what you were thinking while you were riding the bicycle.
Absolutely. That's
Star
all
Wars
I
is
thought
going to
about.
come out in 2
Yeah,
months.
I don't need Saturday
77.
Night Fever. I need Star Wars. So
I love that. I'm actually really surprised that they don't have space bikes in Star Wars.
they did. They had it in
They have the speeders
remember
like
those-
in
yeah.
on Endor.
in
They had-
Endor.
yeah.
And you know what?
The speeders.
But they also wore helmets, okay?
They wore
But
helmets.
that's-
They wore full body armor.
No, but but the speeders are like a motorcycle to me. What about an actual bicycle?
You want a pedal powered spaceship.
Yeah, I kind of want a pedal powered spaceship.
Wow,
Yeah.
That would, well, I mean, talk about hyperdrive. You got to drink a couple Red Bulls to get that thing going.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine? But because
Scotty, call down to the engine room. Tell him to start
Pedaling?
cranking it up a little.
I'm giving it all she's got, Captain. He's on his Peloton.
I imagine the Saturn rings, but just like people on bicycles with
Oh my god!
a head
yeah.
for oxygen.
Right,
You know?
yeah, you just put an empty fishbowl over your head,
Yeah.
and you start parkouring through the Saturn
Parkouring
ring.
on the Saturn, be like, "Zzzz."
When I'm passing you on your space bike on the wheel of Saturn, are you still going to yell at me? The speed limit.
Wear your helmet.
3 feet.
Watch
you
your
have to give me
hurry.
3 feet.
When I learned how to ride a bicycle, I had the tricycle for a long time.
I did until I was 10.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
we finally got you off that trike 3 years ago. Right before the pandemic, we retired the tricycle.
No. So I didn't want to give that up because I was like, shoo, shoo, shoo. I could like go around and maneuver and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Tricycles are known for their speed and maneuverability.
I love the tricycle. Anyway, my dad had me, right? I'm on the bike and he's pushing me. And I was like, okay, all right, Daddy. Okay, got this, right? And I start pedaling and I look at him and I say, Daddy, please don't let go. Please don't let go. I'm not ready. And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to let go. Babe, I'm not going to let go. Okay. So here we go, going down the driveway and I'm getting it and I'm getting it. And then he goes, pushes me. And I was like, no. And then sure enough, I completely fall. And I was like, Daddy, you said that you weren't going to let go. But he's like, but you were riding the bike, right?
My favorite part is like, you think you're revealing this traumatic experience, but you've just described how every child learns how to ride a bike.
I mean, how did you learn how to ride a bike? You're an avid cyclist.
I could tell you the story of how I learned to ride a bicycle, but you just did. That was exactly my experience.
I had a helmet on also.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you ever ride a bicycle in New York City?
With the police department, yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
I'm
really?
terrified.
You were one of the
Actually,
bike cops?
That's right. In fact, that was one of the most fun assignments I've ever had.
Oh, so you enjoyed riding your bicycle in New York City?
I did because I just, was with a great group of people.
Did you ever capture any perps?
Yep,
on your
absolutely.
bicycle? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How?
But
What?
anybody,
What
but
happened?
never anybody in a car, right? It had to be on foot or maybe on another bicycle.
You focus mostly on street level
Yeah.
stuff. So we would know where we would go and we would just kind of, since they're looking for cars, we were on bicycles. So we would kind of come up
That's amazing.
by surprise.
How exciting.
I don't know about
You
exciting.
would come up by surprise. You would say, stealthily move up.
Yes, and I
Slowly
would-
move
I
up.
would slowly
Going
move up.
slowly on the bicycle.
No, I was going quickly on the bicycle, but they're all looking in this direction, looking for cars to come. So we would just come from the opposite direction
Sneaky.
and put the cuffs on them.
You're like, you didn't hear me roll up because I was on a bicycle. Amazing.
Were you ever a horse cop?
No, I was not a horse cop.
I would think it would be really fun if the police department expanded the animals that it uses law enforcement. So there's dogs and there's horses, but like, what would be a good addition to the police force of another animal?
Well, I don't know.
Like a goat, maybe a goat,
police goat.
or
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that
a
just
grumble
eats-
goat.
a grumble goat.
Yeah,
that
he'd be
just
the chief.
That eats all your evidence before you can, put it in the proper receptacle.
Right? Who knows? Maybe they made it all the way to Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, I feel like Mar-a-Lago could have used an evidence you could give. What's your favorite cop mode of transportation? Because they have bicycles. They
okay.
do they have rollerblades?
Oh my gosh,
They
we have all sorts of
We
vehicles.
did. Now we had the Impala. We
Okay.
had the Impala,
Yeah.
which they gave us, and they just weren't suitable for New York City.
How about that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. They were like, no, this isn't working.
Yeah.
We want some more horses and bikes. Thanks.
yeah, I'll take a goat before I take an Impala.
Yeah, that's the thing. The horse cops are going one way, but you sneak up behind with a goat.
and put the cuffs on them.
This has been an episode of Grumble Goat.
Thanks for listening.
I'm Matt Labatka.
I'm Veronique Hurley. Please subscribe.
I hate when people say please subscribe.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
Because Toto jumped out of the back basket and ran home to Dorothy.
Thanks for listening. And while I have your attention, if you've been enjoying the show, don't forget to leave a review and don't forget to Grumble Goat responsibly and share with a friend.